get up, your body won't do it, right? That's what it looked like to me. So before we get into anything else, what is your view of Ryan staying on the canvas on one knee for the count?
Max, he quit.
So you think he quit too?
Like every other fighter out there. There's no doubt about it, Max. Look, listen to me, Max.
I said vengeance is mine. The best you guys have ever seen when it comes to boxing in the digital space. Tim Bradley says he quit. There's no doubt about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. That was Tim Bradley on ESPN. He was interviewed, and they were asking about, obviously, the biggest fight in boxing this year, Ryan Garcia losing via KO to Gervonta Davis, the face of boxing. Now, I got to preface it. I already let you guys listen to some of it. We'll go back through it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. But I gotta say this and preface what the point of this video is. Yes, the fight is over. But as I opened up with, vengeance is mine. I truly believe there's a lot of people, and it's not that I believe, I know, there's a lot of people that listen to Boxing Ego. They listen to Ego's thoughts, whether in secrecy or they leave a comment, whether it's public knowledge or behind closed doors, and they listen. And just how you could subtweet somebody, there's people who subliminally try to go against everything I say. Now, I told you guys in several videos and on the Boxing Ego watch party that I was the first person, since I was doing it live when the fight happened, and I said I thought Ryan Garcia quit. You know, he made a decision. I think he could get up. I explained my rationale. And I think there were some people who they wanted to disagree. And they're like, hey, no, you're not the boxer. You don't know what he's been through. But I've seen an increasing number of actual pro boxers, and they've said the same thing. Tim Bradley is the latest. There has been other fighters who have come out and said that. And I think old media, they tried their best and they wanted Boxing Ego to be wrong. They wanted Ryan Garcia to be granted some type of clemency or some kind of pass for how the fight played out. And it's good to see that even people like Tim Bradley, I've been on record, I don't always agree and often agree with Tim Bradley, and that's fine. Every dog has his day. A broke clock is right sometimes. So I completely agree with what Tim Bradley is saying. And by the way, I think Max Kellerman, out of high profile names, has literally one of the worst shows in boxing, always pandering to casual fans and old media and these talking points, trying to save certain fighters while admonishing others, blaming all of boxing's woes on Al Heyman and PBC. And it's just laughable in my honest estimation. And you guys should probably take a listen to what I got to say, because Igor Stradamus has been right more often than not, including with this Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia fight. I can't foresee Max Kellerman show being on too much longer in terms of, I don't think it gets good ratings. I don't really know people who watch it. Occasionally people will send me because they've seen a clip from it, so they watched, just like why I'm talking about it now. But I don't really know anyone that watches it in real time, and I think his takes have been horrible. The sad part about it is I used to look at Max Kellerman as one of the best back when he was with HBO, but he turned into a company man and too much agenda. It's like somebody put a battery in his back. Back to what Tim Bradley is saying. He says that Ryan Garcia quit. A lot of people wanted to go against me and say, oh, you just don't know, you didn't feel it. Tim Bradley's saying the same thing. Roll the clip.
Boxing circles, and I've been surprised by how many fighters have come out and said he quit. Because to me, there are body shots. You remember Virgil Hill got hit with one from Roy Jones. Oscar got hit with one from Bernard Hopkins. You get hit in an organ like the kidney, your brain might say, get up, your body won't do it, right? That's what it looked like to me. So before we get into anything else, what is your view of Ryan staying on the canvas on one knee for the count?
Max, he quit.
So you think he quit too?
Like every other fighter out there. There's no doubt about it, Max. Look, listen to me, Max. If you can get up at 11, why can't you get up at 9? If you can look up, you can get up, Max. And he chose not to at the end of the day. So yes, you can say he quit, but you could also say, was it smart for him to basically quit? You can say that as well, because trust me, he did not want to end up on the ESPN top 10 highlights, because trust me, if he would have got up, he would have been taken out on the stretcher possibly, because Tank Davis is one of the best finishers in boxing. Okay.
So did Virgil Hill quit against Roy Jones? In other words, are you saying that this shot, while it may have been devastating, it's still he could have gotten up, where there are other body shots like that, or liver shots that you can see throughout history where the guy just couldn't have gotten up? Is that what you're saying?
Listen to me. It takes a dog to get up from that shot. A straight up dog. And dogs are more respected than humans. Trust me, when you see a dog running on the street, guess what? The humans are trying to stop it from getting hit by a car. You gotta be a dog, and people appreciate dogs inside the ring. It's what you signed up for. Yes, he could have got up. You know, sometimes these guys, they get hit. Let's say Virgil Hill. He had a cracked rib. That's what happened with him.
What about Oscar versus Bernard Hopkins?
You gotta be a dog at the end of the day. That's soft. He should have been able to get up. Trust me, I seen a guy like Marcos Maidana. He took a liver shot from Amir Khan. What did he do? He got up because he's a dog. He had to get up. You know, and it all boils down to this, Max. What are you doing this for? You know, that has a lot to do with it, because that changes your perception when you're in that ring. You know, when I used to fight, Max, it was all or nothing. I needed to win by all costs, any means necessary. If I go down, I'm damn sure gonna get up.
I'm dang sure gonna get up, says Tim Bradley. Now, again, as I said earlier in the video, Tim Bradley has some wild takes that I don't subscribe to either. But when it comes to the situation with Ryan Garcia, I think he called it down the middle. He also said the comparison of Marcos Maidana, which is what I said at the beginning when Ryan Garcia was knocked out. And Marcos Maidana, he's one of my favorites, got up from a paralyzing body shot. And I think Max Kellerman, one thing that makes his show so horrible is he's trying so hard. He's trying so hard to defend on some old media-ish and find a way out, a back door for Ryan Garcia. And he does this to old media fighters like Lomachenko. I can imagine if Devin Haney beats Lomachenko, he'll come up with excuses that, you know, this isn't Lomachenko's true division and Lomachenko was old, you know, all these typical things that you see. And I'm glad that Tim Bradley disagreed with the Ryan Garcia situation. But to compare Virgil Hill and Oscar De La Hoya to Ryan Garcia, it's laughable. Virgil Hill was an Olympian. He was fighting a proven guy like Roy Jones, who had already beat B-Hop and he had already beat James Toney. And Roy Jones even rapped about this in his song, Y'all Must Have Forgot. He said, stop Virgil Hill with a body shot. Y'all must have forgot. He, not only did he stop him, he broke Virgil Hill's rib. So we're talking about different things. Virgil Hill was rolling around on the ground in agonizing pain with a broken rib from, in my opinion, probably the most freakish athlete and one of the fastest, if not the fastest people we've seen in boxing history, with freakish speed and power and explosiveness. You know what I'm saying? So that, I know Tank Davis got a lot of that too, that ooh-wop and the explosiveness, but it's just like, what are we talking about? Same thing with De La Hoya. Max Kellerman's trying so hard to liken this to all these other fights. De La Hoya was rolling around versus a much bigger Bernard Hopkins in a division where he really wasn't at that division for real. And he got caught and he was rolling around on the ground in agonizing pain, punching the ground. So I think that's a bit different. And like Tim Bradley saying, Ryan Garcia literally got up at the count of 10. Gervonta Davis said that I told Ryan to get up. I thought he was going to get up. And Ryan Garcia said no. He shook his head no. So I agree almost 100% with what Tim Bradley's saying, because this is what I've been saying. Ryan Garcia made a choice, just like Victor Ortiz in the Maidana fight, Victor Ortiz in other fights, where he could have continued and that would have been the warrior way. And I understand how paralyzing a body shot is. But Ryan Garcia, how come he didn't go to the hospital? If he came, people are making all these excuses saying he came into the fight with the injury and stuff. How come he was at the post-fight press conference? Because when someone gets knocked out by Deontay Wilder, they're usually not there for the post-fight presser. So How come he wasn't in a wheelchair, you know, and he wasn't stretchered out or anything like that? He was walking back in the tunnel when and after the fight. He made a choice. And I think the reason I got to stress it a lot for Ryan is because he barked up that tree, like Jay-Z said. Don't bark up that tree will fall on you. I don't know why your advisors ain't forewarn you, right? Please not Tank. He's not for play. He don't slack a minute. All that thug rapping and gimmicks, he will end it. And they let Ryan Garcia say, oh, I'm going to knock him out in 2 and I'm going to destroy him. And you'll see, you're getting the version of me now. All that to end up really quitting to a body shot. And he already had this aura or this reputation of pulling out with anxiety, didn't fight Jojo Diaz, pulled out the Fortuna fight with the anxiety, like I said, and people kind of viewed him as like an Instagram fighter and a pretty boy. So to talk all that and then to go out in that fashion, I don't think was of benefit to Ryan Garcia. Even if he stood up and then the ref waved it off, I think would have been a better outcome for Ryan Garcia, which is why I'm stressing this topic. You know, even if he made the attempt to get up and got hit with one more punch, I think it would have been, people would have been like, all right, that was a rightful stoppage and it would have been over. So to me, Ryan Garcia, it's like playing Madden online and the player just disconnects. They try to concede and forfeit the game and then you don't accept and then they rage quit, and it's like your opponent has left the chat, you know, and it still goes against your record online. So to me, Ryan Garcia rage quit, and you got guys like Max Kellerman who is trying to think of every excuse in the book. And it's funny because when a black fighter like Deontay Wilder, he felt that somebody drugged him, you know, there was chatter about if the suit was the wrong fit and all this type of stuff, the suit was too heavy. And none of these same people like Max Kellerman came to bat for the black fighter, Deontay Wilder. And if anything, they did the opposite and laughed at him. But somehow they're trying to find a soft place to land for Ryan Garcia because they like him. But that's not fair. You know, it's funny people say, oh, Ego, you're biased. But then you see people like Max Kellerman do what they do and they don't keep it 100 and keep it solid. Depending on who the fighter is and who they're signed to, he'll have a different take on it. You know, how can you respect that? So shout out to Tim Bradley. I think he nailed it. Ryan quit. Like I've been saying, checkmate.